Good morning. Another reason, says the Halevovas, why sometimes we see a tzaddik that's having a hard time. Simply put, because it seems that sometimes a tzaddik, his obligation is not just to be a tzaddik, but to also make sure that he gives mussar to the rest of his generation, to bring them up to be tzaddikim. And when chas v'shalom a tzaddik does not do that, sometimes just that in and of itself is worthy of punishment and hardships that the tzaddik has to go through. But of course, what we see here in the 5-6 reasons that the Chovas brought to us why sometimes a tzaddik has hardship, what we see here is the two extremes. Sometimes indeed it's about a past avera or about a current idea of not giving mussar to his generation, but on the other hand it could be other of it because he's such a big tzaddik, and therefore HaKadosh Baruch Hu uses him as a sign and as a statement that you see despite his hardships he's doing chesed and he's doing tzedakah and he's being a tzaddik. So you see that we can never really judge a situation when we see a tzaddik who's having a hard time, because it could be for the highest possible reasons, and this gives us clarity on why indeed the Nevi'im did not give us a universal answer on why sometimes we see a tzaddik that's having a hard time. And indeed, this is the idea, the entire basis of the idea of Bitachon, which the Chovas talks about. That sometimes when we see things, we have to understand that we have to take a step back and try to see what Hashem is messaging us. There was a story, there was a bacher one time, was not a major Bal Kishron, and he wanted to go to a specific yeshiva, and they didn't want to take him after his Bechina. So he went to his uncle who had given a massive donation to this yeshiva to try and work on his behalf and make a phone call. And when the uncle called, the Rosh Yeshiva said, "I'm really sorry and I appreciate your donation, but he does not belong here. He's not the right fit." And this fellow went and he pulled back his donation from the yeshiva. Then they went to his rabbi, and yet still he made the phone call and it still didn't work. So they ended up by Rav Pam Zatzal. And Rav Pam told this bacher, "My dear bacher, it seems very clear from Shemayim that they do not want you in this yeshiva. Even though you think it might be the right thing for you, but it seems clear, because how does it make sense that a Rosh Yeshiva would deny a donation of $100,000? How does it make sense that your Rebbe called and they declined him? It seems obvious that's not what they want. Hashemayim, stop fighting Ratzon Hashem." And he told him, "There's a yeshiva where my family members sent to go there." And indeed, this fellow went there and he became a massive Talmid Chacham, and he already printed a few of his own Sfarim. In other words, sometimes when we see something that seems to be so clear against what we want to do, this bacher wanted to learn more. He wanted to be Oivad Hashem. And here it seems like the yeshiva that he thought he could do it right is declining the door, is closing the door in front of his face. So it was Rav Pam there telling him, "My dear Bach, it's the exact opposite. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sending you in exactly the direction where you belong." And that indeed is what the Chovas is showing us here, that when we see something, we never know what the individual Hashgacha Pratis is behind it. Have a wonderful day.